Good afternoon, Detroit. How's everyone doing today? Oh, you can do way better than that. You're not at work. How's everyone doing, Digital Summit? That's way better. It's good to be here. This is a beautiful theater. Guys, give it up for the theater. Everyone put this in. This is a beautiful day. I love this venue. My name is Mike Albanese. I'm going to be your host and MC. I'll be with you today and tomorrow. I'm just waiting on the old men from the Muppets to heckle me, and we'll be good to go. This is going to be a fun couple days. We have a great lineup of speakers. This is going to be a great summit. Who's first time coming to a digital summit? Anyone here first time? You can make noise. I can't see any of you. All right. Who's been here before? Perfect. Well, close your ears because it's all the same. Nothing's changed since last year in the social media world. Everything is the same. We're going to have a lot of fun. I just want to thank everyone for being here. I know there's a lot of things you could be doing other than being here and taking time off from work in your amazing office space where it's just filled with lots of great things to look at. You guys could be on an amazing conference call where you're learning all kinds of great things, not trying to do anything wrong to yourself. Every time I've ever been in a conference call, that's all I feel every time. Or you could be like me. I'm a stand-up comedian, and I travel all over the country. And on any given day, I could be thinking that a panic attack is a heart attack for the 13th time in my entire life. Let's see if we can get that up. There it is. That was me about 3 weeks ago, because apparently I don't understand that panic attacks are real. While that's up there, follow me on Twitter, @BigManMike. Is that a nip slip? My bad. I didn't think. That's a lot of nip. My fault. Should have edited that. But this is Detroit. This is my first time in Detroit. We're all from here? That is amazing. You guys can do better than that. You guys are from Detroit, right? That's fantastic. Detroit's a great city, man. Detroit built the bedrock for industry. And it's been going through a rebirth, which is amazing. A lot of people say it's going through rebirth. I think Detroit has already been reborn. Would you say so? It's a beautiful town. It's being rebuilt by people that are dedicated, people that stuck it out, and people like you. So give yourself a round of applause for being here in Detroit. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. Some things never change, though. Some things are going through rebirth. Some things don't change. If we can get that. Where is it? There we go. Some things don't ever change. 3 people like hot dogs. Great. And what's better than an amazing early 1900s Coney hot dog? 2. I was just in Philadelphia last week. Detroit, you're giving them a run for their fat money, I gotta say. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, so something I want to say about Detroit that I've noticed since I've been here for a few days, is that that's a true statement. Nothing stops Detroit. Would you agree with me? Nothing will stop Detroit. Now, how did that get in there? What is that? There are so many. Oh, you're going to boo me over that like you don't know? I went to the games yesterday. I left pretty quick. Relax, it's a joke. That's not true. I left almost immediately. So welcome to the Digital Detroit here in Digital Summit Detroit. Detroit, some things that are beautiful, some great things I've seen since I've been here that have been a symbol of Detroit. Detroit is strong, Detroit is powerful, and you like to staple shit to houses. I don't understand. I can't figure that one out. So welcome. Thank you guys for being here to the Digital Summit. Again, my name is Mike Albanese. I'm going to be with you all week. You're going to see me running around. If you see me out there asking you to film something with me, please do. We're going to have a lot of fun this week. Try to keep your guys' attention and keep you guys excited throughout the week. So this is the hashtag I want to make sure everyone's using. It's DSDET15, stands for Digital Summit Detroit 2015. If you guys have anything you want to say, post, pictures, anything, just make sure you use that hashtag so we can all stay abreast of it and everyone can be on top of it, and make sure you're doing that. Also, again, make sure you're following me at BigManMike. That would be great. And I just want to give a quick shout out to some of the sponsors. These are our main sponsors. We've got the Michigan Film and Digital Media Office, Skipstone, Kenneco, Emma, Silverpop, SoftLayer, Tech Systems, and Woodwing. Everyone, give it up for the sponsors. They're the ones that help make this happen, everybody. Also have a lot of other great sponsors. Keep it going for all the sponsors, everybody. There's a lot of work, time, and energy that takes place here. Also, if you don't have the Wi-Fi information, there was a little bit of a print error on the form. The network is Digital Summit Detroit. You can find that, but the password is Digital1. And the passbook, it says digital, but make sure you Digital1. That's the head to make some changes to bump the speed. Also, in here, you might notice it's a little bit, the Wi-Fi is a little bit slow, or you may not find it. The Wi-Fi actually is located at the very top of this room, and there's a lot of mass in here. So once you get out into the rest of the building, you should be able to get, no problem, get on the internet. But in here, if you don't see it, don't worry, it'll be there. Also, make sure you download the Tech Media app on your smartphones. Just search Tech Media Conferences. You can find that in there. Once you're in there and you download it, you can find all the information about what's going on, stay on top of everything. Just check into the Detroit Digital Summit. That's not geotagging you or posting on your behalf or anything. That's just letting them know that you are in this one, so you can find all the information about this specific conference, which is great. And now, something I like to do, a lot of like the Emmys and the Oscars, which I kind of feel like this is very similar to, and a nice big award show with tons of celebrities. Thank you. I was on a show on BET. I know you all recognize me. But I want to do an in memoriam, and in the guise of social media, this is a social media in memoriam. Fellas, if you can play that song for me, that would be great. And this is something that I like to call the Digital Summit in memoriam. And thank you guys for being here.
And spend all your time waiting for that second.
You guys remember that one? 3 people.
For a break that would make
That's why they're dead.
okay. There's always some reason to feel not good.
Nobody even reacted. I don't think anyone knew what that one was. That was about a $2 billion project. No big deal.
Need some distraction.
Yeah, me neither. And that is the best logo I could find.
Memories seep through my veins. Let me be empty.
We remember that.
Oh, and weightless and made.
I still have a LiveJournal email address, but
Some peace tonight. In the arms of
this one's tough for me. That's a beard dating app that went dead, and that's very near and dear to my heart under here.
from this dark hole.
Yeah, a lot of these had to dig deep for some of these.
And the
Aw.
endlessness that you feel, you are pulled from
The whole thing didn't go down, but that one's a little bit annoying.
of your silent
Google Circles.
memory.
Do you work for Google? You're just a fan of, you're the one guy on there? What's your name on there? You're not telling anybody? You don't want to admit? That's fair. Oh, just in general. They do everything good. They can have a few hits. I'm fine with that. Wait a minute, that one's still going. Oh, it's the Pinterest fails that failed. Okay, that's the one. I don't even know what that is on the bottom. That looked like the Tigers pitching staff yesterday. Look, I'm done talking about the Tigers. That one I don't get. Although the one on the right looks tastier, I'm going to be honest. That one looks a little bit... That one is rough. All right, thanks for the music, guys. So thank you again for coming out to the Digital Summit Detroit. Give yourselves one more round of applause for being out here, everybody. Make sure you're hashtagging. Take tons of pictures. Anything you think is cool, any questions, pop it up there. There's going to be people checking it, running answers, things like that. Also going to have some contests, giving away some fun stuff. So just make sure that you're not only posting with that hashtag, but also keep track of it. Keep track of it, check on it, because that's going to be a lot of fun stuff going on there. But right now, are you guys ready for your lunch keynote, everybody? Come on, you do better than that. You guys ready for your first keynote of the Digital Summit Detroit? Please help me welcome to the stage. She is a former Mean Girl, and she is currently the social media marketer, and she is with the MGM Resorts International. If you guys don't know the MGM right down the street, please help me welcome Beverly Jackson, everybody. Beverly! Yes.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I think I have this thing upside down, so this is going to be interesting. So I was told to tell you all to come a little closer. I don't bite, and I might throw chips, so come on down. Actually, I do bite. You should ask people on my team. But I'm not throwing any chips. So I'm going to press this and see if it at least starts, and then if I see something happening. So we're going to give people a moment. This is like the black church. We're going to give people a moment. You put your finger in the air and come on down to the front. You don't need to tithe, and it'll be okay. We're going to leave in an hour, so you won't be here until 7 o'clock tonight. There's no choir coming out. Come on down. Come on down. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you for having me. It is my pleasure, my honor to be here. It is a little bit cooler here than it is in Vegas, so I'm grateful for the cool off. I was starting to melt at about 1:15. And we got close a couple times this summer. So I am the newly appointed Vice President of Social Media Marketing and Content Strategy at the MGM Resorts International. And I have no idea what that means other than to say, we own half the strip in Las Vegas. So that means we are going to be standing up a social media center of excellence for everything on the right side of the strip or on the west side of the strip. So that's everything from Circus all the way down to Mandalay Bay and the Delano, which includes Bellagio, the Aria, Vidar. Of course, MGM Grand is on the other side of the street. Pretty much everything except Caesars. So I'm pretty excited. It's a lot of fun. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how I gave up my reign as a former Mean Girl in order to take this role. And I actually gave up that role a little while ago. So this is very cathartic. It's like therapy. I'm going to lay myself bare, so don't judge me. # don't judge. And we'll see where we go from there. Okay. So I've been doing social media for one shape, form, or fashion for the last 10 years thereabouts. And I remember that first moment that I opened my Twitter account, and it was under a different name, and it was closed. And I was so excited because I got to talk a whole bunch of ish. I'm going to clean up my language. They told me to be nice. So I'm using some stuff. So I got to talk a whole bunch of crap that was in my mind. I got to share that with the world, and there was no judgment. I was like, yes, this is awesome. And so I just went in head first. And I thought I was being really cool and clever because my account was on lockdown. And so I thought no one could see. It's like me and the 50 people. And I forgot about the whole thing as cell phones got better and people started doing screen grabs, and who knew there'd be something like Snapchat and we'd have a whole place all about doing screen grabs. But I am a better person, I will tell you that. We are having, there we go. So as a marketer, the one thing that I needed to keep in mind was that I'm responsible for selling stuff. So my job, as I tell my nieces, is my job is to actually get people to buy things or to do things that they don't want to do. This is great in Las Vegas because I get to take your money. I get to convince you that it was your idea to give it to me. So thank you for that. We're having a little technology problem. Go back. There you go. So # former Mean Girl. When I say that, people are like, my husband said, you can't say that to people. You can't tell people you were a mean girl. I wasn't an ish, but I was a mean girl. Like, you know, if I saw things that didn't appeal to me, if I saw stuff I didn't like, I was judgy, and I sort of took that to social media. So I took it to the streets, as they say. And so I thought I could just pretty much get away with anything and everything. And it was open season on anyone that came in my path. I remember being on the tube in London and using my BlackBerry Bold to take a picture of a girl who I thought was inappropriately dressed. It was awesome. So judgy of me. But I am, in fact, a former mean girl. Oh, this one's big. Who doesn't want a bigger one? Sorry. See, it slips out every now and again. I can't control it. So I know, look at this face. You saw the headshot. who would ever believe I was a mean girl, right? I'm telling you that, and I'm saying it, but you don't believe me. So I figured we're gonna pretend like we're in the 4th grade. There's a little bit of show and tell. So I'm gonna show you exactly how mean I was. That's my mean girl face. That's my mean mug. You know, you've been in a club. You're here in Detroit. You've been in a club where you got to mean mug somebody because the bartender's not coming over fast enough. That's my mean mug. Yeah, I know. Did she really think that we didn't see she had on an invisible bra? Like, did she think it's like Wonder Woman shields or something, or Wonder Woman's plane? Like, it's an invisible bra. And who wears green panties under a white lace dress? Like, you were asking for me to take your picture. And please tell me what happened to that woman's ankles. Like, where'd they go? You didn't believe me, right? You still don't believe me. The guy in the front, he doesn't believe me. He's like, that face, she's so sweet. She's a nice girl. She wouldn't say that. Okay. You know, you take pictures of people's food. What exactly was that? And did you actually think I was gonna eat it and hashtag it food porn, hashtag nom nom? Yeah, not gonna happen. What is? I still don't know what that is, and I kind of sent it back. And who is that woman standing behind Harvey Levin? Where did she get that hair? What red-headed horse is running around missing its hair? And the woman on the left, did she just get out of the hospital? What's up with that outfit? Where are you going? And the guy, who's wearing Jesus sandals and socks? Like, where's that okay? I told you, I'm confessing this is very cathartic. So if you were following me back in the old days on Twitter or any of the other now defunct social media sites, you could see, I love this girl. Did she actually, who dropped her off on the curb and told her to carry those bags? Who did that? And does she actually think she's like 78 pounds with rocks in her pocket? Like, who thought she was that big she could carry all that stuff? And then this is my favorite one in the middle. This is Detroit. This is homegrown. I said to somebody yesterday, I've been in the Detroit airport over the last couple years probably 200 times because I'm a Delta Platinum flyer and I fly back and forth in and out of the country, and I come through Detroit because if you fly Delta, you pretty much go Atlanta, Detroit, or Minneapolis. So I fly through Detroit. I was clearing customs one day last year, and it was the 4th of July. Where is she going in the animal print fur? Where? And this is one woman, and there are like 4 pieces of animal print fur there. Like, what were those patterns doing? They were competing against each other. And I'm not even gonna talk about the Martin lookalike. Let's just pretend like that didn't happen, okay? That was an 80s reference, a 90s reference actually. So let's just pretend like that one didn't happen. So this is what I used social for in the beginning. It was awesome. It was so much fun. I could just be judgy. And then I realized that this isn't really who I am in real life. Like, if I saw you with bags and you couldn't carry them, I'd help you. I'd go get you a cart. If I saw you or one of my friends, you know, my girlfriends and I have this rule. It's like, do you not have any friends to tell you that that outfit is not a good look? Take that back. So in real life, you know, IRL, I'm actually a much nicer person, but that wasn't the person I was online. And that began to bleed into who I am professionally. And so as a digital marketer, as a social marketer, that became incredibly important to me to sort of clean that up. And so I set about on this journey to actually become a nicer person. So I told you this is like therapy, is like church, all of that. So I am now healed, I'm cleansed, I'm better. I'm here to tell you I'm a reformed mean girl. I'm a hashtag former mean girl. And the reason this is sort of important is because I've been in charge of some really big brands on social. So I started the social media program at the Grammys, and I led social media at Yahoo. And now I am leading a social media center of excellence for a $9 billion organization that's all about inspiring entertainment and fun and engaging with consumers. Who comes to Vegas? Who was the last time who's been to Vegas recently in the last year? Does anyone go and sit quietly by the pool? Everybody's there for the turn up. Don't pretend. I saw you. We've got those cameras, facial recognition. I won't tell if you don't tell. What happens in Vegas, you know the rest. But it becomes really, really super important for me to stand before you as a social marketer. It becomes important to stand before you as a digital marketer and say that who I am as a person and the kinds of behaviors that I engage in impact who and how I represent my brands. And so that is a challenge that I've taken on, and that's a part of the reform process. This is so important because all the stuff that you do on social, so like in that other slide, that's like the obligatory slide. Everybody that talks about social shares that slide. The important part of this is that all the work that you do underneath the surface is the stuff that impacts what the user, the consumer, the fans, the followers actually see. So it's all that crap, all the infighting about what the hashtag will be, who are going to be the influencers, whether or not you should start a new handle, whether or not you should pay the money to have a Snapchat campaign, whether or not it's worth it, how do you defend the ROI to the CFO or the COO. All that stuff is the stuff that happens beneath the surface before a message actually even makes it to the street and gets in front of people. And so we know that effective social has to be relevant, timely, and authentic. Relevant, timely, and authentic. And without bias, and open to change, and led by people who actually believe in it, who are credible. The struggle is real. It's so real. The struggle is real, I tell you. So there are times, the challenge is that I am a witty person, generally speaking. I'm funny. I've been told I'm charming. I've been told, and I'm inclined to believe it. But the challenge is always there to recognize that it's not Beverly that I'm representing, that it's actually these brands that I'm representing. And I'm telling a story that has to resonate with lots of different customers who are looking for lots of different things. And who I am bleeds into that message. It's how I lead my team. It's how I inform my leadership. It's how I talk about what social is to become. And as a digital marketer, this Bitmoji says it the best: the struggle is real. Okay, you are, as a digital marketer and as a leader and a thought leader, you are your brand's most important, you're the first and most important influencer. And the idea is because I sit in board meetings, I sit in executive meetings, and it's my challenge to lead my executive team down this narrow hall that we call social media. It's my challenge to convince them that what we are doing, the money we're spending, the infrastructure that we're building is going to be effective. It's going to change our business. It's going to generate revenue. It's going to bring new fans to the resorts. It's going to cause you to come to more day parties. It's going to cause you to spend more money. I owe Mike $200 because apparently he lost a couple $100 down at the MGM last night. So we'll see what we can do about getting him a comp or something. But at any rate, that's my job. Like, I'm the first influencer. Before I set up an influencer marketing program, before I hire anyone to, any Vine celebrity or Instagram influencer or Instagram model, I'm actually fascinated by this, the Instagram model. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Is that you own a selfie stick? I'm not sure, but let's just move along on that one. See, it slipped out again. You're supposed to help me. Did you see how that slid right in there? Jeez, come on. So, as the influencer, you are in fact king of your brand. I like king instead of queen, just in case somebody else tries to come along and dethrone me. I can bump her in the head. Again, it slipped out. See how that works? Jeez. Anyway, social marketers, leadership is calling. That means I'm constantly in this battle to make sure that I'm telling the best, most effective story. And that it requires as social media has grown up, that requires that leadership among us, among our peer group, and in our industry is an important part of what we do. So Colin Powell, great leaders are almost always great simplifiers. This is probably the number one thing that I do every day, is to take some fairly complex idea to people who are not digital or social marketers. Like, why can't I see the work that we did this weekend on Snapchat? Where is it? Oh, okay. That process of explaining why we're only seeing 1% of our organic reach on our Facebook pages is an important part of what I have to explain to people every day, because we're getting more money for this. And I need to explain that, in fact, organic reach is down. We've got to pay more money. This is what it looks like. We've got to be really thoughtful about the content that we create. We've got to be really, we've got to invest in additional infrastructure to make sure that we're reaching it. Keeping it simple, someone told me this a long, long time ago. It's the KISS principle. You've heard it. Keep it simple, stupid. Yeah, I'm in a leadership role, just kind of boiling it all down to its basic elements. But that has impact as well, because your reputation, see how this goes back to me being a former mean girl and being a leader and my reputation being everything? Because my reputation is my brand's reputation. So I am the representative of 15 properties, 9 of them all within a 2-3 mile radius. Because as I go, as the leader goes, so goes the rest. Leading a team, it's me and like 25 millennials. It's awesome. You have no idea my struggle. But it's me and 25 millennials who are looking to me to lead them to how best to represent these billion-dollar brands. My example is everything to them. My credibility is on the line with every tweet, with every snap, with every Facebook post, with every video that we create. We tell them about this daily content that they've got to create, you know, the hygiene word. We say that to them all the time. And in saying that to them, a part of them leaves the keyboard, no matter how small or how big. A part of them leaves the keyboard and becomes a part of that message that has to reach our consumers. And so that becomes a really, really important thing to transfer to them, because we just don't, I mean, you know, there's all this conversation about, should you let interns do social? I think we've crossed that hurdle. I think. Sometimes I wonder. But the important part is that we provide them with leadership, and we provide credible, authentic voices so that our customers respect and honor the bond that we make to them. And you've seen that slide. That's why it's so important. That's why our credibility is important, because we're trying to tell these complex messages in real time across different channels. We've gone to leaders, we've gone to our executive leadership, and we've got tons of money now to put at this stuff. And we don't have messages that are credible, authentic, or relevant that are going out. And the important part of that is that comes back to leadership, and that comes back to the leaders' credibility, hashtag former mean girl. So this slide is left blank intentionally. It's mostly to make sure you're paying attention and you're not just, you know, taking pictures of things. But this is an open, honest, candid discussion. When they asked me to do this, I said, I'm only going to do this if I can do it on my terms, which means it's not a canned presentation about some case studies, and I'm not going to get up and tell you about my time at the Grammys and how I did some really cool stuff, and I'm not going to tell you about my challenges at Yahoo, and I'm not going to tell you about the really cool things I'm excited to do at MGM. I just really want to have an honest, open conversation about what it means to be a leader in a digital age, and what it means to be responsible for your brands, and what it means to be authentic and open with your consumers and your fans and your followers and your users and all that other stuff, whatever you're calling them. This is the one thing that I figured out. So this is a takeaway. So they always tell you have to give a takeaway. So this is the takeaway. This is a takeaway. Takeaway. Credibility silences noise. When you are credible and you own your message to your consumer, to your user, to your fan, or to your follower, the other stuff goes away. Because we go back to that slide where there are all those social channels there, and there are all those messages, and now people are paying people, and videos are starting automatically without people actually clicking on them, and they're calling it a view, and you're having to calculate that into your ROI, and did it really resonate? Credibility, silence, noise. So you don't need to have, the days of us being able to do fan acquisition campaigns where we can spend a bunch of money and get up to 1 million followers, those days have passed. So that means that your messages have to be credible. The stories you tell have to be authentic. They must resonate and be relevant to your audience, and you must be fast about it. You don't have the luxury of 3 or 4 weeks to come up with a story, to come up with a plan. I call it micro planning, because that's what really happens in social. So credibility, silence is noise. Well, how do we get there? Because that's always easy. Like, I can stand up and tell you these big sweeping ideas, but it's like, okay, well, I work at a startup down the street and I just got responsibility. Okay, see, I'm doing it again. I slipped right back into the mean girl thing. Damn. Okay. I work at a startup, and my startup, I've been challenged with, see, that was good, right? I can be nice. We are challenged with how to use social to tell our story. So, clarity of goals and objectives, takeaway. Clarity of goals and objectives. Be clear about what your intention is, and be clear about how you're going to get there. So I'm going to share with you where we are in our social media center of excellence that we're standing up. We have 2 goals. They're simple, straightforward. We're communicating them from the top down, from the side in, from the bottom up, at a diagonal. We circle people around them. 2 very specific goals. We have 4 key audiences. The 2 goals are tied to the 4 audiences. We want to talk to the people who are our brand loyalists, the people who love us, our mama, people who love us. And we want to talk to the people who love our individual brands. Because like the people who love Bellagio are different than the people who love Circus Circus. The people who love Vidar are not the people that love Excalibur. The people who love MGM Grand are not the same people who love New York, New York. But there is a standard of what is to be expected from MGM Grand Las Vegas to MGM Grand Detroit. So when we say that you are at an MGM Resorts International luxury destination, that means something regardless of where you find yourself. So that's authentic and credible. And in our employees, we have 62,000 employees. Who best to tell that story? But that requires leadership, credibility, authenticity, and then new leads. People who don't know us, who've never stayed at any of our resorts because you stay on the other side of the strip, or here in Detroit, you go to that other place. And so we've got to tell you a story that you'll believe, one that will convince you to give up your points, to give up your comps at that other place and come over to our place. And that requires credible, authentic messaging. Your brand is most exposed on social. Takeaway. Because on social, I can do what I was doing. I can be a mean girl to your brand with no consequences. Because you don't know me. I can take a little bitty encounter with a girl at the front desk who looked at me sideways, or who didn't like my long red horse weave. And I'm taking it to Twitter. It's a Twitter beef. We're taking it to the streets. And that's the kind of conversation that used to start and die at the front desk. And I'd suck my teeth and I'd say something to my friends and I'd go to my room and get dressed and go on to the party. Now, as I'm on my way to the elevator, I'm tweeting and I'm snapping her picture and I'm posting her for the world to see, and I'm talking trash and creating hashtags along the way. Your brand is most exposed on social. So if you are trying to be someone you are not, if you are presenting an image of your brand that you cannot sustain, you will be called out front and center, because the struggle is real. comment section. This used to stop my heart at Yahoo. The comment section. I wish I could just turn off all the comments. I just turn them off. Because we'd work on a campaign. We thought we were witty and creative and ingenious, and we'd give birth to it into the world. And the comments would come. If I'd wanted your opinion, I'd have given it to you. I don't want it, keep it to yourself. But you're most exposed on social. So your fans are gonna call you on it. If you say that you've got beds soft as a cloud, you better have beds soft as a cloud. If you say that your buffet offers gigantic Gulf shrimp for $5.99, it better not be 602, because somebody's gonna comment on it. And then, people pile on. So it's really important. So this slide is pixelated. It's pixelated for a reason. It's pixelated because as a brand, it is important that you stay in your lane. And you say that to your friends all the time. You're out of your lane, get back in your lane, stay in your lane. With all the construction on and around here, what happens when you get out of your lane is you get mowed down. Stay in your lane. Don't try to be who you aren't, because you will get what? Called out. Because what? The struggle is real. So this is what our brand is. So again, for our brand, we're really cool. We're really clear, not cool. I mean, we are cool. We are cool. We're cool. You believe me, right? We're cool. Okay, all right, good. All right. So for our brand, we have a very clear set of messages around who and what we are. And so we're like an insider. So in Vegas, we are your inside hookup, your inside connection. And that's how we tell people. That's how we present it. That's how it's positioned. That's how the content is created. That's how every experience is extracted. We've come up with the tone. And these are not true for every brand, because I just said we have Circus, and Bellagio. And for those of you who've been to Vegas, you know that they're very, very different. But the reality is we're clear about, from a corporate level, what our tone is. And we lean into that, and we support that, and we message that, and we create content that underscores that. Oh, but a meme generator. Who can't resist a good meme generator? And I remember getting this call from the young woman who runs this particular account. And she said, I want to do this. It's so cool. Everybody's doing it. And I was like, okay. Let's figure out which one we're going to do it from. And then we picked our careers page, because we want to appeal to a certain kind of consumer, to tell them about job opportunities at our lovely properties and our resorts. We didn't think it was appropriate, and we didn't think we could pull it off straight out of Bellagio, straight out of Aria. What? We didn't think we could pull that off. But we did think we could pull it off on careers, and it worked really well. We actually got a lot of good recognition around that, and other brands were getting into it. And so you don't want to miss an opportunity because you're hesitant, because remember I said relevant, timely, and authentic. And there are other brands that get it right. Does anybody remember the Battle of the Summer? This was like back in the 80s and the 90s when we had like rap battles, East Coast, West Coast. Does anybody remember the Drake Meek Mill Battle of the Summer? Raise your hand. Come on, people, come on. You can't be a digital marketer and not know about some of this stuff. This was awesome. This is the most awesome thing ever. This is like better than like lemonade with ice. This was so good. Meek Mill and Drake got into a beef over the summer. And there are people in the audience like, who the hell is Meek Mill? I know. Just work with me. Google it. Meek Mill and Drake got into, Meek Mill is dating Nicki Minaj, okay, for the people who have the blank stares. Okay, you know who Nicki Minaj is. She got into a beef with like Taylor Swift. You got me now? You're with me? Come on, people. All right, so Meek Mill and Drake get into a beef over the summer battle. And things are flying back and forth on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, and the Champagne Poppies talking trash, and Meek Mill's like silent, and it's awesome. And so as a social media and a connoisseur of pop culture like myself and a hashtag former mean girl, this was epic. And then I saw these two tweets, and I got happy inside. It created a warm spot for me. And I just wanted to go and hug the two social marketers that came up with this for their brands. Rosetta Stone, a language tool. What? Relevant, timely, and authentic. It makes sense. Who's from Texas? Anybody from Texas? Anybody been through Texas? I call it Whataburger. My husband says it's Whataburger. He from Texas, he don't know. We just, we work with him. But this was epic. And I love how the people from Whataburger weren't quite sure, so they didn't actually hashtag Meek Mill. So they were like, we're going to just in case we have to back this up. It was awesome. I can just, a lot of times you see these campaigns and you're like, where were the adults in the room? And the adults said, well, take the hashtag out, just in case. Just in case. That's in case. Just like when the person came to me and said, can we do the Straight Outta Compton thing? I was like, yeah, well, okay, let's not do it from any of the hotels. Like, that's where the adult was in the room. But this was awesome. And so some brands get it, and they get it right. But that means you got to know what your attitude is. Got to know where the line is. Got to know where the line is. Like, are you left side, left brain, right brain? Who are you? So we've been really, really clear at MGM Resorts International about who we are and what our attitude is and how we're going to play this. So this is our line in the sand about being authentic and about who we're going to be, right? So this is who we are. And this is our tone. So this becomes really important because when you know what your objective is, remember that whole thing, the takeaway about clarity of objectives and goals? Okay. All right, so this becomes, once you know what you're clear about, those two goals, and you know who your audience is, and you know what your tone is, you know what your attitude is, you know what you're going after, then you can start to put together your story architecture. It has to be a comprehensive strategy. This goes without saying. The mean girl in me was like, duh. And this is what it looks like. I think this is the first time I'm actually publicly showing this. But it means entertainment is a fundamental human need. And then after we do that, to put more wow into your experiences. We want you to come to our resorts, and we want you to be wowed by them, whether it's the conservatory, or whether it's a giant fountain, or whether it's a huge LED screen, or whether it's, some amazing, incredible live show. We're putting the wow in it. But all that gets down to is we start to walk through how we actually bring relevant, timely, authentic content to the masses. Right? Makes sense, right? This is exactly how we got through it. This is exactly how we backed into it. The big one doesn't work. Okay. So one of my favorite things ever, if you haven't read this book, I suggest you read it. It's amazing. The new Marketing Manifesto. And I love what John Grant says about authenticity, is the benchmark against which all brands are now judged. That's everything I just told you leading up. You can tell we're kind of getting to the end, right? Because you came with me, you didn't believe me, we laughed together, now we're kind of walked through some things. So this is just a great way from an amazing man, from an incredible book, of summarizing all the stuff we've talked about for the last 30, 40 minutes, which is at the key of every message that you put into the universe is whether or not people believe it. Because it's hard to get a consumer to take the journey with you if they do not believe you. It's just as simple as that. It's not much more complicated than that. You are most exposed when you are on social, because it quickly becomes apparent whether the emperor has new clothes or has no clothes when you are on social trying to be the brand you are not. So your leaders, us, must ensure that we are in fact always credible, that our messages are true to who we are, and are illustrated in our brand DNA. Social noise is deafening, but credibility provides silence. You saw the slide, all that. How do you even keep up? Somebody asked me, how do you keep up? Because I have 3 phones, I have a Samsung tablet, I have an iPad, I have a MacBook, I have a regular laptop. I always have the news on in my office. I watch the news every morning before I get up, because even traditional news, I stream things. I've got stuff coming in, sensory overload. So my passion is quiet time. The nail lady's doing my nails. I'm like, stop talking. Put some color on. Sorry, I did it again. You guys are supposed to help me. Jeez, trying to be a better person here. Imposters are easy to spot. This is a great example. I can't even make it more relevant than this. When Harry met Sally. You know, look it up, Google it. I know if you're faking. Your customers know if you're faking. Don't fake it. Don't fake it. Leadership and credibility are essential. That means as a digital marketer, as a social marketer, as a person who is responsible for articulating your brand's purpose and objective, you must stand up and speak up and be credible when asked to do so. Because you can be the difference between an amazing execution and a really bad one. How many people go to South by Southwest? Okay, so a couple years back, and this is when there was no adult in the room, I can only imagine. Someone thought it was a good idea to turn homeless people into hotspots. Google it, I'm not making it up. I did not make this up. Somebody thought it was a good idea to turn homeless people into hotspots so that all the privileged technical royalty that we represent could walk around Austin and be always on, always connected, looking for a Wi-Fi signal. Who thought that was a good idea? And where were the adults in the room? Me and my 25 millennials. Okay, it was 27. Did somebody get fired? No, wait, okay, sorry, no. Anyway, be nice. Be nice. It's hard because the struggle is real, but be nice. Peace. Thank you very much.
Good job. All right, everybody. Beverly Jackson, one more time, let her hear ya. Thank you so much. We're going to have a couple break. The other 2 stages, if you haven't been outside or haven't explored much, right by the reception area and the check-in is stage 2 and 3. So we're going to take a quick break, and then you can come back in here for the next session, or you go to stage 2 and 3 and check that out. One more time for Beverly Jackson, everybody. One more time, let her hear you. Make sure you're hashtagging all your tweets. We'll see you back here or in one of the other stages for the next breakout, guys. Thank you so much.